Cold hard paranoia. Washington State and Seattle now want the power, the control, and the prestige of the federal government. The women on both sides of my apartment want silence, quiet, and calm. But the state of Washington and the city of Seattle deny freedom, just like these folks next to me in my apartment. Ignore health and live with drugs and chemicals and disgust. These aren't separate examples. These are two distinctly similar paths of thinking. Denying and throwing away country, plastering their bases, their police departments, their government military, their drug dealers, their systems and their networks. And they all lead to the same fucking gosh darn place. Boredom, sadness, emotion, and the same sounds over and over, like the time that they have as the present, as now. Where they keep track of change, where they make sure they know where the lights are coming from, where the finger's gonna go next, and what the voice and the behavior are doing at this second. They've made their goals as their time of seconds and declared that their future of climate change is the minutes and the hours. Seconds and months. Social paperwork, social housing, minutes and years. Health, friends, and chemicals all around, everywhere. And the ashram and the walls inside of the home are what they're fighting against, are what they have decided are the parameters. And a person like me has to speak really quiet, really low tone, look in the opposite direction as where they are, or else risk death and dying outside of these walls. not talking about some Sunday afternoon binge. I'm not talking about how easy a person can really figure out what their neighbor does day in and day out and get involved in their decision making. I'm talking about how freaking screwed up a world has gotten for these kinds of people and these kinds of folks in charge and these leaders and these tribal captains. To have more pleasure and more available than an applicant for chaplaincy in medical school. To believe in what they know and to disregard truth, facts, information, and data. Not like the old days with newspapers and radios and televisions. The conditions and the distractions famous people here now call consciousness. A horse could fall dead broke and scared from a tree, land on some grass and die peacefully. And there wouldn't be a cowboy next to the horse in this state, in this part of the world. No funeral. No sacred place to be buried. They'd smoke a pipe. They'd take a swig of their drink and they'd go do some heroin on the grave. Everybody visits, but nobody lives under. Day in, night after night. Forever. A bird could fall dead from the building next door. And the person down the hall would go buy drugs from their drug dealer and step right over it, lying on the ground. Go back, go back, go back, and forth. And they'd never have a double chin. They'd never have a face that looks like it might have eaten some food lately. But they'd have the respect of the people in the gosh darn city they live for their dedication to the cause of consciousness and the breathtaking brilliance they have in their faces to make everybody so darn relaxed and always so calm during their day and for their evening spent hallucinating and seeing the stars in the empty space of their faces, eyes to see in the darkness with no color, to not be racist and say the description of the failure.